Hey everybody, welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast. We're double the hosts, double the topics, and double the fun. And I'm Sarah.
I'm Charity.
I'm Alan.
I'm Dan.
While we're waiting for Alan to resurface. We're in a new season, everybody.
Yay!
Season 18, which is crazy that we're this far in already, which is really cool. And we're officially into September, not quite in the fall yet. It's still pretty warm.
Unfortunately.
But, you know, it might
But
be...
pumpkin spice is out, though.
Pumpkin-
that kind of makes it officially.
At some places,
Gross.
we
That's
went to
true.
Mocha's and we were like, "Hey, do you have what are your pumpkin or your fall flavors?" And they're like, "We're not putting those out until September 7th."
Good.
And I'm like, "September 7th, you're getting beat by everybody else."
for sure.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
like,
some
those
places...
7 days make a big
Some
difference.
places did it in August.
Some places, they came out in August. I'm like, man. And then people are all complaining about Christmas coming early.
Yeah.
My wife and I are willing fall into existence. We're like,
Yeah.
we're tired of summer. We're just all fall
Yeah.
going
I
forward.
feel like I would sweat trying to drink my... Well, I guess it'd be more hot. I assume the hot drinks are more effective. So I'd be like sweating and be like, yes, pumpkin, apple spice.
That's why I keep my house at like 50 degrees to mimic the fall, right?
You're like, this is how it's supposed to be. So we're officially in September, guys. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of like we did back in July. We were talking about some of the holidays and observances that isn't always recognized.
Okay.
And so aside from Labor Day, September has some pretty interesting observances.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So I thought I'll go ahead and start with you, Alan. You seem
Okay.
very interested and eager with yours.
Okay. Well, did you know that on September 14th is National Parents' Day off?
That's
I didn't
nice.
either.
Well, you better tell your girls, hey, this is my day
You're
off.
on your own.
Yeah. There are no days off. Yeah. Well, here's the factoid on it. Let's focus on recognizing every parent and reward them for their commitment to their children, no matter what stage of life they are in. Parents are the organizers, cheerleaders, teachers, and directors of the family. They wear many hats and rarely have a moment for themselves. Once school starts, parents have a window of time to take a breather. That's true. 100%.
I can tell how sincere.
Hogwash. But, you know, I appreciate that somebody that wasn't a parent decided to create a National Parents' Day off. That's nice.
Watch them be single.
I know.
Like,
Of course they are. They're 20 years old, too.
They're looking out for themselves, though, because they're
I
like,
know.
you know what? When I'm a parent, I think I'm going to want a day off. So let me just
They're
go ahead and give
preempting
myself
their
a
own day off. Oh, man.
that's how that works.
Yeah.
All right, I have one. So September the 8th is World Ampersand Day.
Oh, that's very specific.
It's very,
Yeah.
very
The
specific.
ampersand.
So apparently, an ampersand is actually a combination of many words together.
Yeah.
It's and, per se, and. So it's like they just kind of combine them all
look
together.
at that. I actually didn't know that. I had a friend that named her cat Ampersand.
Cats can twist themselves into an ampersand.
That's true.
Especially with their
That's
tails. I can
appropriate.
totally see
That's
that.
appropriate.
So the symbol is also used instead of like etc.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Really?
No. I
Or
don't-
in lieu of etc.
I don't know.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe you. I've just never seen it.
I personally have never seen it, but I guess I've never
Yeah,
had
usually
to use it in that.
it's like two nouns
Yeah, so it's
pulled
like
together.
it says you should use and whenever necessary, but for specific rules, it can be used for official names, informal writing, and certain word connections.
Well, then
So-
I use it way too
All the time.
informally.
I use it a lot, like when I'm talking about double acts, as I usually do. So I usually do the ampersand for that.
I'm always looking for like space savers on a line for a graphic.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ampersand.
Well,
saves
and
on characters.
since I run social media, you only get a certain number of characters.
Yeah.
Like especially on Twitter
Yeah.
X, you only get that much. So I use the ampersand
Yeah.
Quite a lot, yeah.
very, very often.
One thing I didn't know, ampersand used to be the last letter of the alphabet.
No, you have to have it for you to have a complete font set. You have to have an ampersand.
Well,
Really?
but I just assumed it was a form of punctuation. I didn't realize it used to be a letter in the alphabet.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because you don't put a comma and a colon and semicolon.
Apparently, it used to be W X Y Z which sounds ridiculous.
I
and
get
sometimes Y.
infuriated if I have like a really cool font set that I've downloaded and they don't have an ampersand.
No,
I'm like,
same.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
I've
and
had
lazy.
that too. Yeah,
lazy. And you
call yourself a typeface?
Get out of here. Get out
Rookie.
of here.
So anyway, that was my contribution. So September 8th, World Ampersand Day. What about you, Chair?
Well, this one is very exciting. So September 19th, mark it on your calendars, folks.
Okay.
Don't be surprised if people are saying, ahoy, matey, avast, aye, aye, captain, and land ho! And many other pirate-like phrases. So, September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arrgh, matey.
I was going to say Ninja Day after what you were saying there.
Did I sound like a ninja? Is that what
not
ninjas
at all.
sound? Okay, I was like, what?
There's the whole internet like ninjas versus pirates. Which one's cooler? Yeah.
Well, actually, Charity, you had a story of dealing with the Talk Like a Pirate, right? Like when you
I got a joke.
when you were in college.
So many good ones, right?
So many good ones. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Arr.
You'd think that, but
Oh, wait, you told
It's
this
the
joke
sea.
before.
Oh, that's right.
it be the sea.
Ampersand. No, but I thought Charity had a story like when she was in college.
She dated a pirate?
No.
Charity.
Well,
Carmen.
I have multiple stories that involve pirates, so I'm
He said his
wondering
name
which
was
one
Jack
you're
Sparrow, but I
referencing.
didn't buy it.
Davy Jones?
No, I thought it was something for Krispy Kreme, right? Like they had to dress up as a pirate, and if
Oh,
they
yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they still do this, but Krispy Kreme for Pirate Day, if you come in dressed like a pirate, you get a free dozen donuts. Now, I think what you do now, you have to buy something to get the dozen donuts. So my friend Sarah and I skipped class because my teacher was like, "You skip class," but we walk in dressed like pirates, and like a couple of our other friends went. So we've got these stacks of boxes of donuts, and then my teacher was like, "Well, duh,
She brought the booty.
she brought her booty in the class.
Yes, my teacher was not mad when they saw nice, warm, glazed
Booty.
donuts.
Sarah Harmon.
Yeah, I throw my voice out. I sound like Alan. All right, you got one, Dan?
That's actually funny though. That the Pirate Day or Talk Like a Pirate Day. There's a new show on Netflix that's about pirates called One Piece.
Oh,
I highly suggest
yeah.
it, but you have to be really open to like it's very silly because it's based on an anime, and they did
okay.
not try to realistic it up. Like everything is just goofy and over the top, but like really quite good.
I wish I
like
saw it on Netflix.
And a lot of practical sets too, which is really cool. Kind of like how they did Pirates of the Caribbean. They
Yeah.
built a lot of like the ships and stuff on the water.
like Monty Python style humor? Or just,
No,
like,
no,
over the top,
it
or
is.
just-
It's like an adventure. It's very Pirates of the Caribbean, but like
okay.
just.
And like everybody
Okay.
has like a separate themed ship, right?
So everybody has a separate themed ship, but also there's like superpowers. Like characters
Okay.
have superpowers, which is like the kind of the big turnoff. He's like the
Okay.
main character is like Mr. Fantastic. He's like made of rubber and like super stretchy. Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like it's a hard sell. And I showed it to Sally and she really likes it. And I was like,
Oh,
I didn't
nice.
expect this was gonna be the case.
Okay.
So
Okay.
really good. Good quality stuff.
Very cool.
Okay, really quick. So before we get off on the pirate thing, everyone go ahead and pick a color.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, everyone got the color?
Yeah.
Now pick an animal.
Okay.
Okay, now pick a profession.
Okay.
That is your pirate name. So what did you come up with? Color, animal, and profession. What are you, Alan?
Okay. Blue baboon vet.
Cute. Okay, Dan.
No green monkey doctor?
Hey, we can start up a clinic.
That's right.
Mine don't sound. I have purple salamander filmmaker. That doesn't sound like a pirate at
Or
all.
like stripper name or something.
Purple salamander.
Now on the
definitely.
main stage.
I just
way
had
too
Red
long.
Panda Chef. So
A red
Red
panda
Panda
chef.
chef.
That
none of
works.
these sound piratey at all, but you know.
Okay.
All right, your turn, Dan.
All right, so in September as well as September 12th, I wonder why I got this one, National Video Games Day.
Oh, surprise,
Yeah.
surprise.
What?
Every day is National Video Games Day for you,
It's
though.
true. I stayed up till 1 last night playing a new game. I haven't
there
done that
we
in a
go.
long time.
Celebrating the day, I see.
That's right.
Getting a head start.
So actually, this was really interesting. I didn't even realize this. The first patent for an interactive electronic device was in 1947.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
it's
that.
called a cathode ray tube amusement device.
Oh,
That
So-
sounds a lot fun.
yeah, that sounds like no fun at
Medical
all.
procedure.
So-
Well, they told what they use, and then they put amusement. Like,
but apparently, some other examples were OXO, which was a tic-tac-toe type game with another absolutely terrible name.
Okay.
OXO. Why would you
that's
XO
like
X
or hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
when
yeah,
you're
or
signing a letter.
Oxo,
No.
like Oxo.
That was in
That was somebody
1952.
that was way too afraid of being sued for just saying
Absolutely. And then Tennis for Two was another one in 1958. So really, the actual video games as we know them didn't start until the Magnavox
Oh,
Odyssey,
yeah.
which was launched in 72, and that was followed by the most popular one, Atari, with their Pawn, also in 72. And then they made that was the arcade version. Then they
Yeah.
made a home one in 75. So
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't you feel more better about that, Dan? Now you can play for a purpose.
honestly, yeah, absolutely. And they have a new Atari that's coming out. It's like a
Do they?
little, it's like
there
a
we go.
smaller one. That I think it's like $100 or something like that. But you can actually use carts in it.
Really?
Like if you have old Atari cartridges, you can still put them in there and play.
that's
so.
impressive.
A little
But
throwback.
it's got like an HDMI port. Because, it's hard
Yeah,
to play
yeah.
old video games now with
Yeah. but nothing has RCA.
nothing has RCA, nothing
Yeah.
has like S video,
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
RF adapters.
Yeah.
And,
See, he's already spitting out that information already. I have one more. This is actually a double, literally. So September 15th is National Double Cheeseburger Day.
Oh,
And
very
September
nice.
18th is National Cheeseburger Day. You would think cheeseburger would go first, and then you would double
you would
up on
think
it.
that.
So, but either way is like cheeseburgers. So apparently the hamburger itself has been around for a long time, but the concept of putting cheese on top is still fairly new, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because when I was doing my research on Wonderland Park, hamburger stands was a new thing in the early 1900s. Apparently chili stands were really big.
Yeah.
So the fact that Wonderland had hamburger stands, they were being very progressive for
Yeah.
like 1906. You know.
Yeah.
But one story states that a guy named Lionel Sternberger, which should be appropriate with his last name Burger in it, he invented cheeseburger in 1926. Apparently, during an experiment, he dropped a slice, accidentally apparently, of American cheese on a sizzling hamburger.
What am I going to do with this random piece
Yeah,
of
how do you,
cheese?
how do you just
Oh,
randomly?
No, I tripped.
Yeah.
Wait a second, it melted on the meat.
But it didn't break. How amazing.
I wonder what it tastes like.
Well, that's why they said there's like multiples because they're not quite sure who invented it because that does sound really made up, kind of. There was another one that apparently a restaurant called Odell's in Los Angeles. They actually had that on their menu in 1928, and then another restaurant actually trademarked the name cheeseburger in 1935, the Humpty Dumpty Drive-In in Denver.
Oh.
And apparently another guy that tried to trademark it was Gus Belt. He's the founder of Steak and Shake back in the 1930s. So basically not quite 100 years-ish, we've been putting cheese on
Putting
burgers.
cheese on stuff ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since. So mine had a
Cheese
double
on
date.
everything.
This is totally random. Do you guys know that Taco Bell used to have a taco burger back when they
No.
opened?
I don't know about Taco Bell, but
I didn't
Taco
know that.
Tico had a taco burger.
So I saw an old menu that somebody
Okay.
posted over because Taco Bell was supposed to be
Yeah.
selling Mexican food
Yeah.
to Americans who didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And they had like enchiladas, tacos, and then like one of them was just a bun with like taco meat
Yeah.
and like
That's a
stuff
sloppy
on.
Joe.
That's a sloppy
Yeah, it was
Joe,
like a
isn't
sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
I do believe that already exists.
Yeah, I think you can still get it
Can
if you
you?
go
Okay.
to Taco Tico.
Okay.
I am curious though, like,
If you
How it
like
was
tacos
originally.
and you like white bread, it will be delicious.
is that your Kansas taco?
Yeah.
If you like tacos and you hate tortillas,
Yeah.
That's the meal for you.
I cannot handle corn tortilla. What about a hamburger bun? Sign me up.
now you're speaking my language.
That's like the infomercials when they're
American.
always struggling. They're like, what am I going to do? How do I eat this taco? Introducing the burger bun.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one I wanted you to do, Alan, that you should have as well.
Okay. I thought I did. There is another pink one. Okay. Okay. Did you guys know that on the first Saturday in September is World Beard Day?
Oh.
Yes. World Beard Day encourages competition between the bewhiskered. A record for the
Bewhiskered.
world's longest beard goes to Hans Langseth, originally from Norway. Langseth immigrated to the United States. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, At the time of his death in 1927, his beard measured 17 feet 6 inches long.
Wow.
And if they would have exhumed him, I'm sure it would have grown a little
Even
bit more.
longer. So,
Does hair still grow after?
Yes, it does.
a Viking with the
Oh.
longest beard. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wonder if
yeah,
it
Dan.
fit in the coffin.
Fingernails do,
Thinking
too.
like,
Well,
oh,
you
gross.
You
Yeah.
don't really have Viking.
I can't grow it. No, and I can't grow hardly any facial hair. I mean,
Hi.
it stops at a certain point,
Yeah.
and it's just like, hey, Patchy, how
There
you
is.
doing?
I don't know if it's at Barleycorns or something, but here in Wichita, they do a beard competition
Oh, do they?
or
Okay.
facial hair.
Right.
And some people
Got people like
do
the big
like
mustaches.
I've seen the
Crazy
mustache ones.
mustaches,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wonder. I have to
and
look
some
and see
people
like
do
World
like
Mustache Day.
like the octopus like
Oh,
beard.
like they
Oh,
like
yeah.
gel it up.
yeah.
Man,
Pretty interesting.
actually, that would be interesting to see if there is like an actual competition to see them.
There you go.
I'm not really into beards, but I do like the way mustaches look. Whatever that means.
Why would you like mustaches?
Oh well, I mean, not on me.
Why
I
wouldn't
just,
you like mustaches?
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Did you guys know that the second week in September is National Biscuits and Gravy Week?
Oh.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds good, actually.
which I know the UK is probably like vomiting right now, but you know, America. So biscuits. and
I'm sorry. If you eat something called bangers and mash, you don't get to comment on anybody else's
I have
cuisine.
seen that.
I don't understand how they're so close to like France and
Yeah.
like so many other places, and their food is
They're like this little
Not good.
island. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, you know what you don't go to England for? The food.
England has so many like food places. You know, I mean, I guess it's like America too, but I feel like it's twice as much of, you know, they've got like Chinese food and
Indian,
Grecian,
a lot of
yeah,
Indian.
but, you know,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And, it, you know, if you try to get like, I want
Kebabs.
food
Yeah.
from England, it's like, well, where do you go?
There's
you
this
know?
funny video with this guy. It's like a British guy, and he's just ranting about like immigrants and stuff in England. Then he talks about like how they need to have like traditional English food, and then he just starts naming like curry and like for like this and like all these different countries.
Chicken masala,
Just like all this.
kebabs. Good job there, Jerry. Making your neighborhood real proud.
Well, biscuits and gravy. So it's very popular here in America, obviously, especially down south. So some say its emergence took place immediately after the American Revolutionary War. So once the U.S. pulled away from Britain, food shortages set in, and these hit the South particularly hard. So people came up with a good way to load up on carbs before heading out for a hard day's work.
Okay.
But we're still eating biscuits and gravy today to go sit in a cubicle. So I don't know what that says about America.
Crutch
you
has
know.
a great mushroom biscuits and gravy.
Oh, really?
Over here on the east side, yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
I do. I don't have it often, but man, sometimes I kind of get in that.
You got to
with
do
that
it
thing.
right, because most of the time it's kind of gross looking and
Yeah.
smelling and tasting. But like,
Well, usually, so it. The one thing that I mean, I like biscuits and gravy, but it's got to be proportional. It can't be like the smallest biscuits you've ever seen and like a plate
full
of
of
gravy.
gravy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you, go to the Dempsey Biscuit Co.
Okay,
and Crutch
they
or
know what to
whatever,
do?
because they make like they have their it's the whole biscuit thing, right? It
Okay.
used to be down in College Hill, and now they're over on the east
Okay.
side, and they are big biscuits.
Okay.
They put like four, and then they cover everything with gravy. So
Okay.
it's just a lot of everything.
Okay. All right. All right.
I actually
I'll
kind
give
of
it
want
a
to try
shot.
that now.
I'll give it a shot.
You know what? Then I think it's time for your new job for you.
Oh,
And
thanks, Dan.
September just happens to be
What is
update
it?
your resume month.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
So get on this stuff.
and your LinkedIn profile too. If we
Well, that's like
Oh,
even more important. It
gosh.
seems like nowadays.
I
So
think my resume still's on
your Behance page.
veterinarian.
Veterinarian?
Something. I was trying to call back to when I was a blue baboon vet. But anyway, hit and a miss.
go ahead, Dan.
no, apparently
That
I
one
was-
went straight to the Davy Jones's locker, all the way to the bottom.
I haven't updated my resume for a while. I didn't realize there are 4 types of basic resumes used by employees. Chronological, which is your present work history, personal achievements, and education, naming the latest employment for employer first. Functional, which takes focus away from the history and places them on skills and abilities. A combination of the two, or targeted, which I usually think of like cover letters more than resumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for specifically the job that you're applying for.
Well, and I can remember 10 years ago, especially in the design world, like the more creative you were with your resume, that would I mean, it was a way
That
to
was really big.
stand out.
Yeah.
I
Now
tried that.
Well, now with Indeed and LinkedIn, you're almost you should just go plain text.
Yeah.
Just plain text.
The worst thing is when you have to upload a resume and then you have to put all that information
Which
into
is
an
so
application as well.
stupid.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, no, that's not a job I want.
Yeah.
And then you have to sometimes go to that particular person's website and then apply.
Right.
So like you
Yeah.
can go on Indeed and it's like, oh, you can't apply through Indeed. It's like click this link to apply after
Right.
you've already put all. So that's like a third time around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
dumb.
That doesn't make sense.
Just to not get the job.
It's
So.
like I'll just sign up for just sign up for unemployment at that point. It's easier.
I remember I was doing some job searching a few years ago, and the advisor I was saying, they're like, people really don't do cover letters anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of an old hat thing.
You just come in and say hello.
Also,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like the email that you send your resume is kind of the cover letter now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the
and
body of the email.
And that's kind of what I do. I'm like, well, the body will be the cover instead of doing. But I guess it just depends. Like, some people are very traditional with that, but some people, I feel like they don't bother, or at least they don't specify. So
Yeah.
again, maybe that's more of a creative job thing.
I think it's
You
just
know?
a formality. Like it's just you ask for it, but you don't read it. Because I had someone ask me for like my resume, my cover letter, and like a list of references, and I
Yeah,
sent all that
references.
stuff in separate documents. And then throughout the emails, they're like, "Who are your references?" And I was like, "Oh, that's all in the first document. I'll send it to you again." And then email comes, "Did you give me a cover letter?" I'm like, "Did you read the email?
Yeah.
All that stuff's in there."
Are you sure you're even offering a job in the first place?
At that point, I think I'd just be like, withdrawn.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll save you the trouble.
Yeah.
Thanks, but no thanks.
I'll keep your job on file if I need it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when I'm going to work for you.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys. This is our random September visitation kind of thing. We
Happy
should do
September.
I feel like we need the Earth, Wind, and Fire song.
That's
in the
I've
background.
it's in my head. It's
Yeah.
been over and over again.
Do you remember? The last thing we need is all four of us to sing this. No one will listen to the episode now. But yeah, guys, just let us know other holidays that you like to celebrate in September, because that's only just a few of them. And I guess we should do this every month. There's a lot of weird things in the month of the 12 months of the year. But check us out on all the different podcast platforms. You can also listen to us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Double Stuff Podcast. And of course on Twitter or X at Double Stuff P, and that's the letter P.